Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the SH Figuarts Kaiju No. 8 figure from Bandai. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks really good, and not perfect, I don't think. Certainly from the way, at least that I had pictured it from the promo pictures. There's some really fantastic details, some really nice colors. For, I guess, getting the critiques out of the way, I just think it looks a little more boxy than I expected. I expected the torso to be a little more tapered. And part of that, I think, is also just due to the engineering here for the articulation, and we'll get into that later, naturally. But, in terms of that, I think it does kind of, there's a lot of really good things and some fantastic ideas here that I think take away slightly from the visuals. However, once you have it posed up, that really kind of goes away. So very much worth noting. But circling back to the colors, we get that really nice, very dark gray, light black, however you want to look at that, and then highlighted by that really nice bright teal. And it just looks absolutely fantastic. I really love the way this is a great color scheme anyway, and just works very, very nicely, especially with the joints here, which are exposed at the wrist being that teal color. It just kind of blends it in very, very nicely. Then we get the face sculpt, and just fantastic work. Looks like it jumped off the page. It's Figuarts, so we know their sculpts are just great, and they're definitely there when it comes to the points they need to hit with the visuals. This is definitely no different. Nice bone white to the collarbone and the skull face as well. And then we just get lots and lots of texture. Pretty much everything here is sculpted in and dialed in. Just really cool. Not only that, but a figure that actually looks pretty cool from the back. I think the tapering actually shows off a little bit better here, just with the way that the figure is kind of assembled. And then you can see some really nice detail work with the texture of the kind of armored plating there. So yeah, really, really good stuff here. So that will do it for, not articulation, that will do it for aesthetics. We get a beautiful loadout of accessories here, so let's jump right in, starting with hands, and right out of the box we do get a pair of fists, and then we get a pair of kind of clawed grappling hands. Beautifully done all around. Then we get 4 different face plates, and they are face plates, they're not head sculpts. So basically the face comes off. You can see that little peg right there. We'll get more into that in the next section for articulation. But yeah, these just kind of like plug in to that ball joint. And yeah, so we get the neutral one just with the black sclera and the teal kind of swirly pupils. Then we get the same face, but looking slightly to the left. Then we get utter surprise face. Really like the way this was done. Very, very effective. Great sculpt, especially in the mouth. Then finally, we get some more surprise / anger, which is the full-on teal eyes. Just really nice. Can't really decide which of these is my favorite, which I think is a really good just position to be in with a figure. Like, this looks great with everything. And I don't know how I would want to display it. Actually, I'd probably want to mix it up as much as possible, and that's the most you can ask for when it comes to accessories. Speaking of which, we do get an extra leg piece, and I believe this goes on the right leg. Maybe it can go on either. I have not read the manga or seen the anime yet, so you can correct me in the comments. Feel free. It's a great character design, and really happy to have it, so I bought the figure. But as you can see, there are these 3 ports, and these 3 ports are actually for these other accessories, which are these kind of dagger style pieces. Nice kind of matte black, and these just plug in here, so you can see. So those go there, and really the idea here is that you remove the leg, the thigh piece goes into there, and remove the foot and put the foot in there, and then you get that cool kick thing. There's clearly some teeth going on here and some red lines. Really cool stuff. Then we get a replaceable arm part for the forearm. So then you see that more of that teal lining. You can see some like exhaust ports or something going on here. I'm assuming this is some sort of like hydraulic punch sort of deal. Again, let me know in the comments. And remove the forearm, the piece goes in there, and then you got this ball joint here to replace with the hands. I pardon the lack of focus. There we go. Some really cool work there, and that will do it for accessories. Articulation balance here are very, very nice. Admittedly, potentially slightly over-engineered. However, you get some nice stuff. I will also concede that is very, very warm in my house right now. So freestanding kicks are absolutely not happening. Just the joints just aren't going to stick as much. It's definitely kind of a, not a gummy state, but things are definitely looser than they would normally be. But you can get some really nice stuff. And yeah, so starting with the head, we have many, many sections going on here. So we have the face plate, the face sculpt, we have a second piece of the neck, we have a third piece of the neck, and then the body. And that allows for some very, very nice down, some nice up. Be very careful with these back plates. They do pop off pretty easily. One of the first things I did actually was overextend the head up, and this bottom one came off, and it was a little annoying to try to get back into place, but now it's pretty secure, so that's pretty cool. We do get some rotation there as well. You can pretty much go all the way around. The faceplate, as you saw, was on that kind of barbell joint, so that moves around. That gives you a little bit extra range. So as you can see, you can kind of move up and down there. You can do side to side, and a little bit of twisting. So you can definitely get some really nice expressions going on there. Fantastic. For the shoulders, we have butterfly joints that go forward, but not really back. So we get to neutral. We get some really nice deep forward movement. Hinge and swivel at the arms, so we're coming up into a nice T. Do get bicep swivel. We get double jointed elbows, which are gonna bring us to there. We get our swivel hinge swivel here at the wrists, so we're gonna go anywhere we want to go there. Then we get a whole bunch of movement here in the torso, where again, there's a joint here, there's a joint in the middle, there's a joint at the bottom, and then you've got all these pieces here, which are kind of rubbery, which just get out of the way. And that's part of the reason it kind of looks boxy. I think if I kind of give this a warm bath and just kind of rain those in a little bit, probably will look a little better too as well. So we get some really nice natural looking crunch forward. Back, not as much. We are running into these back plates here. This is definitely a harder plastic. So not as good, but we can definitely make it work. Some excellent side to side. And then we get rotation from just all those joints. So we get some really nice, again, just there's a lot of potential here. It just has to be worked with. Come down to the hips and not drop down, surprisingly, but we can come out. We get about that far, not full splits, but definitely still very, very good. These top rings are rubbery as well, so those get out of the way, which is kind of nice. And you can rotate here as well. And part of the thigh rotation, which starts right here, it feels like it's a ball joint. Like it actually comes out, moves in. So as you can see, you can actually get some very different sort of rotation. You can bend it where you normally wouldn't be able to. Very, very crazy stuff. Front kick, beautiful. Getting pretty much full 90. Double jointed knees, holding beautifully in half. Then we get a swivel at the ankle. Perfect point. Some very, very nice forward. A toe hinge and some extremely generous rocker. So that will do it for articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other Figuarts. With some domestics. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons Oni and yours truly in human form as the Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the SH Figuarts Kaiju number 8 figure from Bandai is that this is a really, really good figure. I will admit that when this was first solicited, I was all in. I was just like, I love that design. That looks amazing. I got it out of the package. I was slightly deflated. Again, just kind of the proportions seemed a little weird. And again, it's not with some of the articulation, again, it feels slightly over-engineered, but the more you play with it, the more you get used to it, it really starts to get really fun. You kind of learn the ins and outs of it. This is basically what I imagine an Amazing Yamaguchi is kind of like. I don't have any yet. I do have the Deadpool 1.5, I think, on pre-order, so I'm excited to get that and kind of experiment there. But with this kind of what I imagine that's going to be like, where again, it requires a little more work, and you can get it to look amazing. It's just, it needs to be posed up, it needs to be played with. It's about the experimentation, kind of learning the ins and outs of the mechanics. So fully recommend this. Absolutely, if you're a fan of the manga or the anime. Again, I haven't seen either, but I just really love the character design, so I'm definitely going to pick this up, and absolutely not disappointed. This was kind of an interesting journey between being completely enamored with it, the initial, I won't call it shock, but kind of, turn of feeling on it, and then kind of playing around with it and just coming back around. It's just really, really cool. So highly recommend it as a figure and experience. This is available from various online resources. I think this is showing up even in Walmart's, which is insane. So I wish you luck in the wild, or I will have a link or two in the description, and you can find this hopefully there if you are so interested. So that being said, I hope to see you back if you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining, because I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more. So if any of that appeals to you, come back, let's talk about some nice toys, escape the world for a while. But at the end of the day, I really just hope you're well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true, and most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.